is the year wherein we have the most number of buyers at 201. And then we have also coming from 35 countries. It's also a first because this time we have this city tours that was, we are trying to reinvent the city tour. Most people always say, most of the buyers always say, oh, it's the same thing over and over again. So, but this time we tried to segmentize the city tours by coming up with pockets of city tours from Ortigas, from BGC area, from Makati area. So it's not just like going to the same destinations over and over again. So at the same time, they had the opportunity to go around the hotels, the new hotels in Makati, in Ortigas, and BGC area, to update them of the, all the new hotels in the country. And then it's also a first for the Philippine sellers because this time we have expanded it to a day and a half. It used to be just one day, wherein you can get the maximum of 28 appointments. But this time, because of the extension, they're going to have a maximum of 40 appointments for the duration of the Philippine travel exchange. And to also give an update for the sellers, we have 132 companies joining with 198 sellers from the different companies. And anything else, Susan? Did I miss anything?
Just to give you a background history, it started in nine, two, 1989, the first Phibex, Philippine Travel Exchange. And then there was a 5-year hibernation. And then we brought the Phibex in Cebu for the first time. And then we included not only the B2B, we also included educational seminar for the Philippine sellers to update on the new trends and new markets. And then for this year, again, first time to expand the program, to give more business for the Philippine sellers. Our team now is bigger business, Phibex, bigger business. So before it used to be one day, 28 sessions, business sessions, now 40 sessions. So we would like the Philippine sellers to really maximize their participation in this event. And also, it's about time that revenue generation na ang namin, conversion na yung aming really focus on marketing. We already promoted the Philippines worldwide. There's great awareness on the Philippines and interest. That's why there are many buyers who joined the Phibex this year. There are about 300 registered online buyers to the Phibex, but we have to really screen them well, really have an interest in the country, and those who participated in the past travel exchange, and also the latest is the ASEAN Tourism Forum this year. There are new buyers from markets from like Morocco, Hungary, and other countries, South Africa. After the ATF in January, they went back this year because they would really like to close business. And we already received some interest, great interest from the buyers. We're bringing groups of 600 more. There are post tours in selected destinations like Southern Luzon, covering Tagaytay, Batangas. The second one is Bicol, covering Legazpi, Sorsogon, and cities. The third is Ilocos, Lawag, and Vigan. The fifth is Cebu, Bohol, and the last is Davao. So, in spite of what happened in Davao, in the recent incident, buyers still, they did not cancel.
Were there changes to the program as far as the Davao tours?
No, as is the program. Still the same program. We did not change it. Though we just let the buyers reconfirm their participation. If they want to change, they can change. But just this morning, additional buyers would like to go to Davao. and then and even one the Swiss buyer. If the organizer cancel Davao, I still go. So how it's very comforting to us for the foreign buyers to really have the interest on especially Davao. Before it was difficult to sell Davao in the past, really in the past, in the Phibex, it's difficult to sell Mindanao. But when we introduced Davao in the Phibex this year, again, there's a great interest, really great interest. We are happy for the buyers to have that confidence in the country and also Davao. So,
Yes, ma'am. Most of us here are first time at one time here event. Could you discuss, inform us, how does it work? Like we're seeing tables there. Is this the participant are travel tours? I'm seeing some of that as well.
Participants, you mean?
Yes.
It's a mix. The buyers are the ones coming from the different countries, and they're the ones seated. Okay, and if you notice, they have the names of the company and a corresponding number, so that you don't get lost. If you know the number, at least you can see it. But all the buyers are the ones seated, and the people moving around are the sellers. So the sellers have their pre-appointments already. This was already done 6 days ago. And so they received that. Now their job is to just move around, look for the buyers who appear in their appointment schedule. So they should have a maximum of 40 for the 1.5 day. But those who are really smart, they can do it also during the social functions, or they see them around in the hallway. They can still do this thing.
These buyers, some are travel tours agency or?
They're mostly travel agents, yes. They're operators, wholesalers.
Usually the buyers are sitting down.
Yes.
And the sellers are moving around.
Yes, that's correct.
So why is it the other way around for this event? Has it always been like this for Phibex, or?
Yes,
is this
it
a-
has always
it's
been the
like this for
arrangement,
Phibex?
yes.
Okay. I just haven't seen it that way before.
yeah, the reason is we'd like to monitor the buyers.
I'm sorry?
But we'd like to monitor the buyers.
Monitor the buyers.
Yeah, that they will not leave the table. So in addition also,
This year, which country produced the most number of buyers?
China.
China,
still.
yeah, we
Is
have
it China
Korea.
still or China now? Or?
Still,
Still,
China.
still, okay.
And in terms of region, we also have from Europe about 440 plus from
All over
Europe.
Europe,
Yeah.
all over
Russians also still on a big number.
Korean.
What is the
Koreans.
most noticeable trend as far as the buyers are concerned?
Buyer profile.
I mean, what is the most noticeable trend compared to last year as far as the buyers are concerned?
Well, we have what you call you invite, right? In Phibex. But we also have what you call you register online. But all of these buyers, whether you're invited or you register online, you have to be screened. It's no easy task. They go through a process wherein if you are a buyer, our criteria is that if you are a buyer who have been selling the Philippines, but maybe you're slowing down, we invite you. If you're a buyer who has never sold the Philippines, but you have intention of expanding your market in Asia, then we invite you. Another one is those not really considering Asia, but we might be able to change their minds and include the Philippines. So we also invite them. But all of that, they all go through a process of screening. Whether we also have to do a background check on all of them. And the screening process is not only from us; it includes the private sector. So there's really a clear-cut process for them to go through.
You said it's the largest Phibex ever.
Yes.
Is that a true reflection of Philippines welcoming more tourism than ever as well, or is that?
We have been doing that.
Yes.
And we always welcome more. But this time we registered more. Maybe by next year we can expand further to other countries that have never been in Phibex before.
Just to clarify, the decision to increase the number of the number of buyers, Is it because of your desire to now focus on revenue generation? That's
Mhm.
exactly.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it's always been.
Mm.
Though in the past,
Promotion.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have a certain allocation per market
Mm.
and a certain budget. Of course, we work in a certain budget, but based on the registration that increased, we decided to increase
Oh, okay.
the allocation.
Mm.
And we have also our partners like Philippine Airlines who provided X number of tickets and some supporters. In terms of supporters and sponsors, we have a great number this year. Um,
Even with the
Mm.
number of Chinese buyers, actually, they have exceeded the quota.
Mm.
But we welcome them. Despite of everything that's happening around us, we still welcome them because we believe that tourism should not be politicized.
Um, your questions. I'm just curious how the PTEX cope up with the social media. Everything is in the internet. Anybody could transact directly to the buyer side of the thing. How do you cope up with that?
We are very active in the social media, SNS particularly. We're fairly covered through Twitter, Facebook, what other engines,
Instagram.
yeah, and then Instagram. But you cannot eliminate the face-to-face transaction. That's still the number one thing. In fact, when the secretary came into DOT, he was telling us that, people now don't really read brochures. They just go to their mobile phones, and you can download a lot of information. But that's not true. In all other fairs where we go to, they always look for brochures. They still look for the hard, thing that they can read through, and then I will go to this place, something like that. It's not like you open your cell phone again and then you browse. They still need those hard copies, soft copies of materials. It's same thing, people still want to discuss face to face. Maybe I think it's one way of checking the sincerity of the seller with the buyer. So the relationship is being perfected through the one-on-one appointment scheduling.
in addition to Ms. Maricon message, the Philippine sellers, the reason why we have this, the Philippine government or tourism is really putting this every year because we would like to provide opportunity for the Philippine suppliers. These are hoteliers, tour operators, airlines, convention centers, the tourism suppliers to be in this venue and conduct business and networking with the foreign buyers. They don't have to go or spend money traveling outside of the country to go to attend some big events, international fairs. So it is cost beneficial for them to participate in this event. So instead of traveling, spending money traveling. So we'll bring in the buyers, we invest the buyers to come here. These are serious buyers interested in the country, and then meet them, conduct networking and business negotiations.
At the same
That's the
time,
reason why
they
we
also have the
this
time to validate, the destinations through the brochures. So they meet the sellers on the B2B sessions, and after that they go to the different destinations. So it's a perfect arrangement.
Speaking of validation, how do you gauge the effectiveness of PTEX on a yearly basis? Do
We
you-
have a survey form for the sellers separately. We would like to get their how much revenue or cost sales they generate from this event, and for the buyers also how much. So we match them, and also we would like to get their feedback how to improve the project. I mean the event. For the buyers also what are the best features of the country. So we have that survey form, and they have to submit to us.
How much was the revenue generated in 2015 and what's your target for this?
Um, I don't have at the moment, but I can give it to you. We have that.
Who pay more, the buyer or the seller, in able to attend or to participate in this event?
We spend more for the buyers, of course, because we bring them in.
Okay, so
Yes.
they are free to attend here, or
Yes, we pay for them. Yeah.
the sellers they have to.
They also have to pay. Yeah.
Not
Participation.
minimal, minimal.
Very, very minimal. Because like if you join business missions that we conduct all over the world, you have to pay for your airfare, your hotel accommodation.
500 is the registration fee.
Yeah.
Has there been a change in the makeup of sellers this year as opposed to previous years? Or are the sellers still coming from the main tourism hotspots that
Yeah.
existed in the past?
Yeah, at the same time, but of course there's an increase in the participation from the new properties
Yeah.
and new destinations.
Among all the, I understand that we have new participants this year. Is there a specific region or country that we are so excited about that they're here, or we really hope that they come? Any specific
Are
country?
you
that
courting
probably-
anyone right now?
Like, we have been
particular?
hoping that, oh, I hope the Russians would come, or I hope the European buyers.
Actually, when we made the breakdown of the number of buyers to be invited per market, we already had in mind, of course, the potential of the market, all right? And also the interest of the market. You also have to consider the economic situation of the market, whether they're going to travel or not.
Yes.
You know, you have to look at all of those things. So, as I mentioned earlier, even China, even if we have impasse against China, we still invited them because we know that, you know, tourism is a different sector and this should never be politicized. And of course, from the other markets, we see the potential. If it's a potential market for us, then we invite them as well.
But do we have a specific, like a specific region, probably, or a specific country that
Well,
we have been targeting to come?
we had Korea, of course, as number one, no? Because the Koreans still the strongest, and we want to, of course, renegotiate new what you call this new tariff rates for the new players. So we have more of Koreans, but we invited 20, only 15 were able to make it at this time. Who else?
Yeah.
Japan is strong.
Yeah, short haul market.
Most of the short haul markets still. China, Japan, Korea.
Japan, Australia.
Ma'am, can you give us top 5 destinations in the Philippines that mostly, number one in Phibex?
This,
That mostly buyers
for
consider.
the buyers?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
This is the best. Cebu Bohol, kasi that's established, and also number of properties. Oo, kasi doon, it's an established destination. It's established destination and of course the availability of facilities in place na yun. There are international airports, deluxe accommodation, and tour offerings. Palawan is still the best and also really wanted by the buyers. Before we featured Coron, El Nido, Puerto Princesa, but now we only focus on Puerto Princesa. Now we open the El Nido. So that one, and of course the Palawan, Ilocos,
Heritage.
culture and heritage. Bicol, though Bicol is a new destination, but the destination is ready. Southern Luzon, kasi it's just outside of Manila. So Tagaytay, Batangas, Laguna. So that's a destination that we would like to do. Boracay, when you say Boracay, it's already a popular destination. We don't have to push Boracay. It's already popular and already in the program of the buyers. But if the buyers would like to go to Boracay on their own. So Boracay is already saturated. Though the Cordilleras, Banawe, would like to include them, but because of logistics, we decided not to, and also it's the season now, it's raining, and it's not advisable. But we've been featuring those destinations, and even international fairs. And we are introducing new destinations. Davao is they always participated in the international fairs. Who else? Siargao also.
Siargao,
Siargao. Mm-mm.
there are more foreigners in Siargao than
Siargao.
locals.
Then
So,
locals.
Yeah. And in the past also Negros, Dumaguete, as before. In the past we included that and even ATF. So the Negros, Dumaguete are now increasing. But in terms of Cebu and Bohol, Cebu city, but we're trying to bring them to the countryside, like Argao, on the southern part of
yeah, Dumaguete.
the city. Kasi traffic na rin. So, and the countryside, it's more of now the trend is more on interaction with the community. And by the way, in the tours, we always included CSR, or the buyers to be part of the social responsibility. And interaction with the community. That's now the trend of travel.
In addition to that, I think it's also very important for you to note that we are not just fixing a destination for every buyer, but you have to know that buyers have special or specific interests. Some of them come here to just buy or go to destinations that provide services for diving, for surfing, for other special interest tours. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a Bohol, a Cebu, but like wherever their interest is, that's where they want to go. So we also organize separate farm trips for them on a different occasion, different timing.
The Philippine Airlines, a seller. Last year, Turkish Airlines participated, but did not participate. So it's also our, they bring in bodies here.
And it's also worth noting that PAL is our major sponsor. They've sponsored a lot of our international tickets. Either it's FOC or discounted. So they are our partner for Phibex 2015.
what's our target for the 2016 tips? In
Target,
terms of
Revenue generation.
revenue or
we
sales.
will realize that once we have all the report from the sellers.
Okay.
but we don't have a peg target yet.
No, we don't have an exact figure for you. We will give it to you once everything is finished by tomorrow.
Buyers and sellers, for them to give us a feedback, because it will guide us in preparing for the future event.
Can I ask about TPV in general? Yeah. Kasi we have a new administration, so what is the current
Trust as far as tourism is concerned. And
Correct.
how is TPB dealing with the current administration, the new administration?
Well, TPB operates normally as any other
As is.
time, right? So, I mean, of course, we have a new administration. All we are doing is just continue working, continue
There's-
promoting, continue doing our mandate as the marketing arm.
Has there been a
of the
change in
department.
directive from the new administration or not? Just still the same
No direction yet. Of course, you've heard of the press releases. You've heard our secretary say that they're coming up with a new branding campaign. We still don't know what that is and as to when it's going to come out in the market. Meantime, we still promote the Philippines as the fun
More fun.
capital and more fun in the Philippines.
Where are we focusing our efforts? Which markets are we focusing our efforts?
I still believe that we should go short haul for now, and of course without having to abandon the long haul markets. We still do the usual, promote the short haul markets, and we still service the long haul market.
If you can give us an estimate, like how much focus do you put on the short haul and the long haul, like in percentage, maybe 60%?
I just came on board.
Okay.
I wish I could change
For the
everything.
tourism board, for the tourism board, for the at the moment, we're handling the traditional markets.
Mhm.
That means those who are producing more than 100,000 and
Mhm.
long stay markets like Korea, China, Australia,
Is that include the
Japan.
US? Or?
US
is
is also
fourth,
US
yeah.
is number 2. We also have France, Germany, London, UK, Germany.
But what are we eyeing